Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be looking at the results and just the tournament in general that I hosted. I hosted a Gym Leader Challenge Showdown today. And yeah, I just want to go ahead, look at the results, look at what types did well, what builds of types did well, and just how their matchups fared and things like that. So it's probably going to be a long video because we're looking at the top 16 deck lists. Just really wanted to go really thorough into the metagame for this format because this is the first Gym Leader Challenge tournament on Play.Limitless. So really want to go in depth with this and talk about it. So first of all, my tournament, if you go to here, there were 6 rounds of best of 1 Swiss. They're there for the 35-minute rounds because sometimes, matches can take pretty considerable amount of time when you have to take 6 prize cards without any multiple prize Pokemon. And then there was a top 8 top cut, which was a best of 3 single elimination bracket. But as you can see, this started at 11 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, and right now it is 5:35 Pacific time, and it ended about 15 minutes ago. So it took a pretty considerable amount of time, just because the round's gonna take kind of long, and Control is a very good deck in this format, which means you usually have to wait the entire 35 minutes. So that is something worth noting. If you want to play in this format, do remember that Control is in this format, and you usually will be spending a respectable amount of time on a Gym Leader Showdown tournament with a considerable amount of rounds. So we're going to go ahead and look at the standings here. We see number 1 is Free Kim from Italy. I believe that is the Italian flag. Actually, there's a lot of America in the top 16 here. So we're going to be looking at the top 16 here, which ends off with Captain Wonder. And every single deck is other because there's one of literally everything. So I say we just jump right into it here. Starting off with first place, which was Free Kim with Darkness, which is something I definitely didn't expect. I think a lot of other people didn't expect Darkness to win the entire event either. He went, if we can go, or they went, I should say. We go to their matches. They went 8-0-1. So they lost 0 games and tied only 1 game. Look at this record, so many wins. So definitely a really good list. Looking for a Darkness deck or just a good deck to play in the format. That was the wrong tab. But yeah, so in the finals, they went up against Alex P, and we will look at that in a minute, and we're just going to look at matchups. I mean, Darkness doesn't really have too many bad matchups. Obviously, Fighting is one of them, and Grass is another. Fighting is not too great of a type. I don't know if anyone brought Fighting to the event. They didn't do too well, I don't think. But Grass is a very good type, which is something you have to consider if you want to play Dark. But because you have those other Pokemon that are going to be weak to Fighting, sometimes you can manage the Grass matchup, and Grass is a very good type, and there is definitely Grass in the top 16 here, which we'll be looking at later down in the video. So just looking at Kim's list, we can see a lot of Pokemon used for a whole bunch of different situations. We have a 1, obviously everything's going to be 1-1, so we have Galarian Weezing here, which has neutralizing gas different off abilities and can poison, so it can do a decent amount of damage and can ability lock, and the Coughing can has Ascension and can search for this Weezing. So if you get this guy up there in the active energy turn 1 going second, you can immediately ability lock, which is pretty nice considering almost every single type does have a really good draw engine. We do see some other couple other attackers. We have our Weavile here, which I believe for 1 Darkness energy spreads 60 to everything. I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna just go check on this. No, it has Evil Admonition. Never mind. So it has Evil Admonition doing 50 damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon that has an ability. So I got that completely wrong. And also has a nice stall attack, Icy Wind, that can do 10 and automatically makes your opponent's active Pokemon go to sleep. But Evil Admonition can hit really hard if your opponent just has 3 abilities in play, which say you're up against a water type deck. Your opponent has their Frostmoth. What else could they have in play? I don't know if Wailord has. I don't think Wailord has an ability. They have their their Frostmoth. And here, let me just go over here. Their Artillery, and maybe Inteleon. They have a lot of Pokemon with abilities, which makes this Weavile doing 50 damage for every one that has an ability for just 1 energy, you can hit really, really hard with this Weavile. So the Weavile is definitely really good. And then we have a 1/1/1 line of Obstagoon that the Obstagoon has an ability. This is not the Obstruct Obstagoon. This is the other Obstagoon from Champion's Path that forces your opponent to discard their hand down the 4. And also has a pretty good attack here, which does 3 colorless energy, 180, and you play 1 copy of triple acceleration energy, so you can use that fairly easily. And then there is a 1/1 Zoroark line. Zoroark has stand-in that lets you just, if it's on the bench, you can move it at the active. So, not like Duskmane Necrozma GX can just, or Keldeo EX can just automatically come to the active. And if you have a air balloon on that or a float stone, it's basically just a switch during every single turn, which is really nice. We have the Crobat line here, the Zubat Golbat Crobat. Now this is not the one that places damage counters. That is a psychic one. This one we have the darkest one that draws cards. The Golbat, when you evolve it from the Zubat, you get to draw 2 cards. And the Crobat, when you evolve it from the Golbat, you get to draw 3 cards. So some really nice draw support. We have 1 copy of Guzzler, which is really good in this format because Red Banquet for just 2 darkness and 2 colorless. And since we have double colorless energy and twin energy, we can deal 120 damage, which is a really good chunk of damage. And we can take an extra prize card. So just like being able to take an extra prize card and you want it killing a lot of things is insane. 1 copy of Hoopa, which has a Sulk Gate for 1 energy, you do 90 if it moves to the active this turn. And finally, a Spiritomb with Building Spite. Supporters, Sonia can search out Pokemon and energy, which can be nice. Cynthia and Caitlin, get back any of your one-of supporters in case you want to use them again. Ball Guy, since this is expanded format, and we have access to every single ball card ever printed on black and white we have so many different options. We have Timer Ball, Nest Ball, Level Ball, Ultra Ball, Quick Ball, Great Ball. We have so many different balls. Now, interestingly enough, he doesn't, I need to stop saying he. They don't actually play an Ultra Ball, which is really interesting, but still playing that Ball Guy because you can search out Nest Ball and Level Ball and Quick Ball, really establish some Pokemon. Obviously, you have 1 copy of Professor's Research, 1 copy of Piers because it can get out energy, and it can get your 1 of special energy, which is really nice, and it can get out your Pokemon. And I'm just going to go through the rest of these pretty quickly. 1 Bruno, Shuffle Draw 7, Marnie's Way for Disruption. Taken Liza can serve 2 effects, which is great. Cynthia and Teammates for consistency. Boston Guzman for switching, and for disruption. And Colress can just draw a lot of cards in the late game. For our trainers, 1 Level Ball. You don't need to see 1. Just Level Ball. Trainers may always use Stretcher, Pokegear. Pokegear is great for finding that Piers, help you set up. Incense, Tiber Ball, Super Rod, Nest Ball, Town Map. I found the Town Map is really good in this format because you're going to be prizing so many 1-ofs. Want to know what to take. So 1 copy of Town Map. Now, actually, no Peonia either. I actually just realized no Hydreigon in the deck either, which is interesting. Also, maybe just trying to live off those turn attachments and some pretty cheap attacks. 1 copy of Special Charge. You can get back those triples or twin and DCE. 1 Scuba Net, 1 Versus Seeker, 1 Great Ball, 1 Dark Patch, 1 Quick Ball, 1 Beastring, 1 Rita Stamp, 1 Dark Claw, 1 Air Balloon, 1 Floatstone, 1 Muscle Band, 1 Devour Field, 5 Dark, and then 1 DCE, 1 Twin Energy, 1 Hiding, and 1 Triple Acceleration Energy. So that is going to be the first place deck here. And I'm going to go through some of the later ones here a lot faster. I'm not going to go as in depth with this one now. Matchups, like I mentioned, against Grass can be kind of annoying, and I'm pretty sure this might be Grass. I'm not sure. Yeah, this is Grass. So he actually, I did not mean to copy that. Kim actually managed to beat a Grass deck despite the weakness that some of his Pokemon have. Just because Grass is a really good type in this format because you have Forest Giant Plants, you can evolve all these really powerful Stage 2s, but that is going to be around here, so we will get to it eventually. And yeah, that's going to be it for the first placing Darkness deck. Next, moving on to the second place, which was, I believe, a Water deck. Yes, so Water did get second place, which is also pretty respectable. Starting things off with Energy Acceleration, we have a 1/1 line of Frostmoth and then a 1/1 line of the Luge Blastoise. For an Energy Acceleration, Blastoise is just a little bit better than Frostmoth, being able to accelerate to the active, but Frostmoth is a Stage 1 as well. In terms of draw, we have Artillery, and then for consistency, we have the Drizzile. No, it's really interesting that he's actually playing um, the non-Rapid Strike Sobble, and it's also actually not the 70 HP one. I want to know why the person who got second place with this decided to do that, because you can play the Rapid Strike Remoraid and the Rapid Strike Sobble. Use Keep Calling to get out the Remoraid to later evolve into Auxiliary. Even though Remoraid is Rapid Strike, doesn't mean you can't still evolve into a non-Rapid Strike Auxiliary. And then Drizzile and Italian are great for consistency. Playing the Solid Shell Squirtle, and then a 1/1 line of Stormy, which has Space Beacon. I believe you discard a card from your hand, and then you get 2 water energy back from your discard pile. So basically, guarantees you're always going to have energy, and you're never going to run out, even if a really big attacker gets KO'd. Something like the Wailord, which you can load energy onto it and smack a whole lot of damage. And then also Vulpix with Beacon for setting up. And I was watching Little Dark Fury. He also played a water in a slightly different list. He actually did not make top 16, unfortunately, when O2 dropped. But I was watching him, and the Cramorant was really, really good. Dive, being able to just, prevent damage for a turn to give yourself time to set up is really good. And Hydro Pump can do a lot of damage as well, which is great. So Cramorant is really, really good in the water deck. And then we have 1 copy of Lapras, finally, which can Confuse Ray, and then also Hydro Pump is a okay attack as well. We also see the Ball Guy in this list as well. And the Cynthia and Caitlyn, Boss, Tantalize, the same kind of stuff. And then we also see an Erica's Hospitality in this deck, which is interesting. Much like the Colress, which there's also a Colress in the deck. You can draw a lot of cards with it late game. Oh my gosh, excuse me. I'm sorry about that. We have 1 copy of Cynthia and 1 copy of Guzma. So we once again have the same Boss Guzma package in terms of Gusting. Gusting. We do see the Bridget here and no Sonia. I think the Darkness deck also played Bridget. I'm not 100% sure they might have played Sonia over Bridget. But Bridget is also great because it can get all 3 Pokemon instead of just 2. But Sonia can also search for energy as well, which can be useful. Same 1, but actually playing 1 Hex Maniac. I believe Maxie's Archeops is a really decent deck in this format. Archeops can prevent when it's in play. It's a fighting type, and it can prevent the opponent from evolving their Pokemon. So basically, the idea of the Maxie's deck is use Maxie's Hidden Ball Trick, get out your Archeops, and then just have a whole bunch of basic heavy hitting attackers such as Terrakion and Landorus, stuff like that. While you're just preventing your opponent from evolving, basically just trying to get the Archeops out as soon as you can to make your opponent's deck just not work at all. So we do see the 1 copy of Hex Maniac to kind of counter that strategy. Also, Evo Soda does counter that strategy as well because Archeops prevents your opponent from evolving them from their hand. Evo Soda is from the deck. But we also do see, actually, I missed it. We do see the Sonia in the deck as well, so I don't know what I was thinking there. And one more research. In terms of energy, getting our energy into play, we have the Professor's Letter as well as the Capacious Bucket. Professor's Letter and Capacious Bucket in the water deck basically do the exact same thing. 1 copy of Rescue Stretcher for getting back Pokemon, and we also see 1 copy of Super Rod for getting back Pokemon too. So, way to get some Pokemon back. Actually, no Nessa. Just really relying on that Starmie and Super Rod here. And Rescue Stretcher to get back the Pokemon and the energy. 1 copy of Evolution Instance, and we do see the Ultra Ball in this deck. Just because there are a little bit more evolutions you want to get. You have Artillery, Frostmoth, Inteleon, Blastoise, Starmie, Wailord. Almost all your Pokemon evolve except for your Vulpix and your Cramorant. So Ultra Ball is really great along with the Incense and the Timer Ball. Nest Ball and Quick Ball, great for grabbing your basics along with Bridget's, things like that. Evo Soda, Rare Candy, great for getting out a Blastoise or an Inteleon really, really quickly. And Dive Ball is just a must-have in the water deck. Being able to search any Pokemon without any discarding cards or something like that is great. 1 copy of Capacious Bucket, Versus Seeker, Level Ball, Air Balloon, Floatstone, Brook the Hill, Rough Seas, 10 Water, and 1 Splash Energy. So that is the deck. Obviously, Lightning is actually a little bit of a tough one here. I believe 10 types here was playing Lightning here. So if we can go ahead and take a look at this list. I'm going with the Ampharos, which some decks don't, but obviously we'll get to this in a little bit. If we go back to the water deck here, some Pokemon aren't weak to Lightning, like Blastoise is weak to Grass, Luxury is weak to Grass, Frostmoth is weak to Metal. We only actually have a couple Pokemon here that are actually weak to Lightning. We have the Cramorant, Wailord, and Inteleon, which, are our main attackers, so we know if we want to just take a knockout on a lightning Pokemon right now, we can use Blastoise or we can use Lapras, which are not weak to lightning. Going on to 10 types, which we just briefly looked at their deck list. We see lightning. In terms of draw, we have the Zebstrika. In terms of energy, getting energy into play, actually not too much. There is a 1/1 electric line, which has the same ability as Malamar, the new Flappy, Bronzong, Malamar. I think I already said that one. So that is a really good way to get energy into play. But we also have the Electro Rain Raichu, which can place a whole lot of damage counters if it has a whole lot of energy on it, which is nice. Mellow_Magikarp, which is a streamer that I do watch a lot. He played Lightning as well. He played a more Zapdos-focused Lightning build where you just try to loop the Zapdos with the Mareep to keep them asleep and two-shot them. This list can do that, except not as aggressively as Mellow's version. Mellow's version played, Buddy Buddy Rescue and a lot of ways to get back to Zapdos. This one does. It plays, Lysander's Trump card. Ordinary Rod probably plays Rescue Treasure. Yep, right there. But it doesn't play the Slumbering Force, but still plays the little, plays you can do with the Zapdos, where you can make your opponent go to sleep and then two-shot them with Zapdos. We also see the Never Give Up Raichu. You can actually play both these Raichus because this one's name is actually Lowland Raichu, and this one is just regular Raichu. Actually, this is not the Never Give Up one. This is the Powerful Spark one. That does, I believe, it does more damage for all of the energy you have in play. Let me go ahead and take a look here. Yeah, so lightning energy attached to all your Pokemon. So if you have enough time, you can load energy on your board with electric and then hit really, really hard with the Raichu. In terms of supporters, we also see Tate and Liza, Ericos, Hospitality, Cynthia, Caitlin, Ball Cynthia Guzma, Colors, Boss, and Research, Sonia Marnie, which seem to be just the standard supporters for the format, just like how 4 Marnie for Research, 3 Boss is the standard in the standard format right now. And items pretty much the same. So we do see the Field Blower, and Extra Power is really great in this format, making your Zapdos hit just a little bit harder when you need to, or Luxray can hit a lot of damage. Water is really, really good. It got second. It also had a just decent showing, and a lot of people brought water just because there's so many different tools that water has. So being able to hit, half of water's Pokemon for weakness with the Lightning type is really, really nice. Also having Zebstrika to consistently draw. Lightning is a really, really good type. Moving on here to Averin, who does do very well in standard format tournaments too. He also brought Lightning, except he brought a slightly different list. He also plays the Zebstrika and the Electric and the Zapdos, but he actually plays the different Luxray. He plays the Rapid Strike Luxray, which can do 200 damage if the opponent already has damage on it. An Electric Step can hit any Pokemon in the field for 40. Forgot to mention this with the last Lightning deck, but Luxio being able to item lock is really, really good, and the Shinx can evolve turn 1 and going seconds. You can actually, technically in theory, get turn 1 item lock. But this version, we see the Magnezone with double type. I'm pretty sure this means it's Metal and Lightning. I'm not 100%. Yeah, it's a Lightning and Metal type, so this can hit Water's alternate type, alternate, quote unquote type, which is Ice. Represented by just Water in the game, or Water in the TCG, but is weak to Metal, so this can hit it for weakness. But the Magnetic Bolt lets you do 120. You can put a trainer card from your discard pile back in your hand. So in a format where you can only have one of every single card except basic energy, being able to get back a trainer is huge. You can get back Electro Power versus Seeker. It really helps versus Control because you can just keep getting back the anything to recycle things back in, such as a Super Rod or something like that. Actually, no Lysander's Trump card, which would be really useful against Control for the Magnezone. We'll also see the 1/1/1 Electros line and the Electric. Being able to accelerate energy is great, and Electros can just immediately just surprise. There it is, and you can just attach a whole bunch of energy to it. That's when we see the Magnetic Draw Electro, but lets you, once you're in your turn, draw into your 4 cards in your hand, so a little bit less powerful, like Octillery. But this, Lightning also has Zebstrika, so you don't need to draw that one extra card like Water does with Octillery, which is your only really permanent draw out. We do have one copy of the Raikou here. I'm not 100% sure what this does. So let's go ahead and take a look. Let's see. So we have Shining Body. This Pokemon has a lightning energy attached to it. Any damage Used to it is by 20, and then Thunder Lance for colorless. Does 20 damage for each lightning energy attack. So it's like a lightning version of the Darkrai. It's almost exactly a lightning version of the Darkrai, but if you have 3 energy on this, you're doing 110, which is decent. This is also a lot like the Cramorant, except this has ability instead of dive. But like a lot like the Cramorant or the Darkrai, you can just load energy on this and hit it really hard, and it can take less damage from attacks. The nice thing also about playing the Mag Zone, not only can you get trainer cards back, but you can also play the Call Signal Magneton, which can knock itself out, give yourself 3 supporter cards when you're in a pinch and really need to draw cards. One Tapu Koko with Flying Flip, which for 2 energy does 120 everything, and we do see the 1 copy of counter energy, so it is possible to pay that Tapu Koko in just 1 energy attachment. And then, much like almost all the other Lightning Knights you're going to see, there's that 1 copy of Zapdos. Interestingly, there is no Mareep, though. There's no Ampharos lines. You can't, do the Sleep Thunderous Assault Loop. 1 copy of Tate and Liza, teammates Cynthia, Guzma, Hexmaniac, Marnie, and Juniper, and a Ball Guy, which are the main supporters of the format, and then 1 copy of Birdkeeper. Just that 1 extra little switch out for your Zapdos. I said that before, and Cal Map is really, really good. Especially if you do play with the Peonia. I really like to go Peonia and then just get any 3 cards out of your prize cards, which is nice, but also just being able to take those, just knowing what you're taking is also really great. 1 Level Ball, 1 Quick Ball, 1 Ultra Ball, 1 Timer Ball, 1 Nest Ball, 1 Evolution Incense, and 1 Evo Soda for Search Out. We also do see the Max Elixir in the deck as well, which can accelerate energies if you're active as a basic. So I guess the idea here is you can just, like slam your Zapdos in the active and get some energy on it with a trainer card. Or I imagine it'd be really nice with Raikou or Tapu Koko mainly. Electropower, once again, is great. But we do see the Parallel City here, which I believe decreases damage and can also limit your opponent's bench. Muscle Band is a must-have on almost every single deck, just being able to do that little bit more damage, especially if you're Lightning and you have access to Electropower. It is really good. And then 10 Lightning Energy, 1 Counter Energy, 1 Speed Lightning Energy. Moving on, we have Unseen Oddish, who is playing colorless. I believe it's going to be Control. Yeah, so we have Control here. Control is really, really powerful in this deck. Control has so many versions of it. You can build a Control deck with almost every single type, but the best one is going to be colorless because you have so many great colorless Pokemon that have been. Almost every single one of these cards here has been great in Control at some point in time. Lillipup, Herdier, Stoutland. Herdier can get back item cards, which is great, and Stoutland can prevent your opponent from playing supporter cards, things like Lysander's Trump card, which is really good against Control. We also, Lillipup here can prevent your opponent from retreating, which is great. But we do see the Stoutland in the Shocklock deck. We see the 1-1 Chichino, which goes in almost every single Control deck right now. In Standard, we see the 1-1 Pidgeotto, which went into every single Control deck before Chichino. 1-1 Delcatty, which goes in just a lot of Control decks. Being able to, I believe it gets back supporters from the discard. Autono is like the best thing you're going to have is like a permanent draw out besides Chichino and Pidgeotto. And then you can just slap it in the active when one of your Pokemon is KO'd. And since you're Control, you're not taking prize cards. Pokemon are going to get KO'd pretty often. So Autono just being able to get an extra card is nice. Munchlax and Oranguru, obviously really great for getting attacks, and then Regigigas and Snorlax for just stalling things in the active spot, tanking a whole lot of damage. Supporters, we are not going to see the standard things. We see a couple of standard things like the Chorus, the Guzma, Bridget, and Birdkeeper, but we actually see, and Ann and Boss. We actually see a couple other supporters. We see the Lusamine, Mars, Lieutenant Surge's Strategy, Steven's Resolve, Winona, Glowbun Bryson Man, and Team Rocket's Handenberg, and Fabo. So all these are really good cards for Control. Lusamine can get back some. I believe it gets back 2 special energy. I don't know what it gets back. I know it gets back Stadium, so you can at least get back that Galar Mine to increase retreat cost. We have Mars, which can be used in handlock scenarios. Gladian, in case you prize that one last piece that you need. Lieutenant Surge can let you play 2 supporters. Team Resolve, just being able to search for any 3 cards and your turn ends is fine in Control because you're never attacking at your turn anyway. Team Resolve basically just says search your deck for 3 cards, which is insane. Winona, you're colorless, so obviously you're going to play Winona, and Winona can just help you establish your draw engine, such as Cinccino, Pidgeotto, but can also get back stall Pokemon such as Regigigas and Snorlax out of the deck. Bloodborne Breast Man, obviously a must-have for milling your opponent if you want to go that strategy. Um, Control in this format can really go a whole bunch of different ways. It can go a stall way, just stalling your opponent and healing your Regigigas as much as possible. Things like Ace Rolla, AZ, Scoop Up Net. Or it can go the handlock route with Mars, Lieutenant Surge, Chip Chip Ice Axe. Or it can go the mill route with Bloodborne Bryson Man and Team Rocket's Handiwork. We're seeing a combination of all of them here. You can go so many different ways with this control list. Faba, getting rid of Pokemon tools and special energy, I think. It is one copy of Trick Shovel. I believe it just mills one. Escape Rope, Trainer's Mill, Communication, Stretcher, Evolution, Incense, Palpat, Acrobike, Robo Substitute, and Pokédoll for stalling things out. Searching outs, we have the Communication, the Incense, Nest Ball, Quick Ball, Level Ball, Ultra Ball, standard stuff here. Next, we have Starfish Primer, who was playing another water deck. This one is pretty similar to the one we looked at that got second place. We're not going to look at this one too long. I believe the only different card it plays in terms of Pokemon is the Wishy-Washy with Scatter. But yeah, this deck is really similar, so we're not going to spend too long on this one. Same kind of attackers. I believe actually doesn't have the Cramorant. I believe it swapped the Cramorant for the Wishy-Washy. But, same kind of idea. Next, we have another colorless deck. I think this is another control. Yep, this is control. We have the Regigigas, Snorlax, Munchlax, Oranguru, 1/1 Delcatty. We actually have the Bunnelby Diggersby this time. What does this Diggersby do? It's an old Diggersby. Pick up. Oh, it can get item cards back. That is really great, actually. And it can prevent damage from attack. So this Diggersby is actually really, really okay. Because, it's for Recycle Energy, Capture Energy, or DC or Twin, you can prevent damage. And for just a DC or Twin, you can get item cards back. We have the 1/1 Persian, 1/1 Chinchino, and 1/1 Pidgeotto for draw, 1/1 Delcatty, and then the stuff that I mentioned before that. Supporters, we also have the Lusamine. Have Peonia instead of Gladion here. Maybe they didn't have Gladion because, Peonia is a appropriate replacement for Gladion. Actually, have Bruno and Team Flargo, which wasn't the original. We still have Bridget, Lieutenant Surge, Cynthia, Senior Resolve teammates. Ace Trainer wasn't the other one, I don't think. Getsis wasn't in the other one. And we do see the AZ in this one as well. We actually played the Link one. I don't know what this one does. I know it's banned and expanded. You discard any student card you do, and your opponent discard. Okay, so this is actually like a buffed version of Jesse and James, which we don't play. We're just playing this over. Delinquent is actually, that is really good. Just be able to discard a Burbank City Gym, which can, put some more pressure on with Hypnotoxic Laser. You can actually take prize cards because you have Hypnotoxic Laser and Burbank City, and you can attack with like Dig or Make Him Pay. So that is not bad. We also see the Chip Chip Ice Axe, Yellhorn, Hammer, typical control stuff. Next we have Sebastian L, who is playing Grass, which I looked a little bit when we were looking at the Darkness deck. Now we're going to get fully into this. We have the Venusaur, which with Jungle Totem, which makes every single grass energy you put in play provide 2 grass energy. We have Rillaboom, which can search your deck for 2 grass energies attached to one of your Pokemon. We have Morlul, which can just search your deck for a grass Pokemon once in your turn. A 1/1 Sceptile line. The Draco can find a friend, get some Pokemon out, which is always nice. Grovyle has the exact same ability as Shiinotic. We have the Sceptile, which is a really great attacker, being able to do 1 energy and then 20 damage for each of your grass energy in play. And then we have this Heracross here, which I don't know what it does. I just closed that. We have this Heracross, which has guts at this Pokemon being knocked out. Okay, so it has like Sturdy and a Pitch. Your opponent's back. So it's like a Sturdy Pokemon with the Sturdy ability. So you can leave it in the active, and it can take a hit while you set up your Pokemon. If you're not bad, we have this Pheromosa, which once again I do not know what this does. White Ray, if you have only 1 prize. Okay, so this can do 180 for just 3 energy if you have 1 prize card left. That is really great. And since this is a singleton format with only 1 prizers, it means that there's always going to be a point in the game when you have 1 prize card left. So there's always going to be a point in the game where the Pheromosa is hitting 180. We have the Zarude with Pack Call that searches your deck for a grass Pokemon, puts in your hand. But if it's your first turn going second, you can search your deck for 3 grass Pokemon. And then we have 1 cop, and then it also has the attack that can do much like the Raikou and Darkrai, that does more damage for all the grass energy attached to it. You see a lot of these kind of decent basic attackers in these decks. Basically have insert 1 energy attack or ability, and then more damage, 3 colors energy, and then more damage for the energy attached to it. A card that I do like in this deck is Shining Genesect, which is basically just like a better version of Sceptile, but maybe they didn't have it or they couldn't find a trade for it, so they just chose to either play this route over it or just decide to not play it at all. We do see Brock's Grit and no Luxander's Trump card, so kind of going for the Brock's Grit route over something like Xander's Trump card versus Control, and just getting things back in general. But you might notice there's all these Stage 1 Pokemon. There's a Venusaur, Rillaboom, Sceptile, and we also have Stage 1 Pokemon such as Shiinotic. Well, the thing that ties it all together is we have Force Giant Plants that ignores the evolution rule for grass Pokemon while it's in play. So you can just boom, put them in play, use Illuminate, and then search out your Pokemon, just immediately evolve a Venusaur the turn you play down a Bulbasaur, which is great. Just surprise Stage 2, or just lets you accelerate the Stage 2 and play that's at 1 turn faster, which is always going to make a huge difference. We see the Ball Guy and Sonia, Juniper, Gladian, Marnie, T, and Liza. Teammate, Boss, Guzma, Colress, Cynthia, Bridget, which are the standard supporters, and then Copycat, which is also not a bad supporter in the format. 1 copy of Super Rod for getting that Pokemon, as well as we do see the Rescue Stretcher and the Brock's Grit. So, so a decent amount of outs for getting out your support. In terms of search out consistency, we have 1 copy of Evolution Instance, Timer Ball, Ultra Ball, Nest Ball, Net Ball, which is a exclusive grass item card, Quick Ball, Great Ball, Level Ball, and then you see the Stadium Nav as well, so you can that 1 extra Force Giant Plants potentially. So grass, definitely a great archetype. And next we see Psychic, our first Psychic deck, which I don't know what place it got. It got 9th. So Psychic only getting the highest points at 9th, not even in top 8, which is definitely interesting, because Psychic is a archetype that a lot of people expect to be very good. Now we do see the Dusclops, which lets you manipulate your opponent's damage counters, just move them out however you want. You can take surprise knockouts, which is great. We have Behemoth, which I think just 20 damage to everything if everything that is the same type as the active. Yeah, so Synchronize. This is a Pokemon that I had in my Psychic Spread deck as well. That does 20 damage for 1 energy, and it does 20 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon that shares a type with the defending Pokemon. Well, since this is a monotype format, it means that every single Pokemon your opponent has on the bench is going to be the same type as the active, which means this always says 20 damage and 20 to each of your opponents. This attack basically just says 20 damage to everything in play because of the monotype rule. Definitely a great option for spreading some damage. Basically like a better version of Tapu Koko Flying Flip. We see the 1/1 Weezing, which has Splattering Spludge, which does 40 damage, and I believe 20 damage to everything that has damage counters on already. And then Detention Gas can put 1 damage counter on a basic Pokemon in between turns. 1/1 copy of Musharna. Musharna has the exact same ability as Pidgeotto Airmail, except this time it's called something different. Muna, which on a coin flip can put things to sleep. You flip a coin, and if heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is asleep, but if tails, your active Pokemon goes to sleep. So you can kind of do a trade-off. We see a 1/1 line of Gourgeist. The Pumpkaboo has Astonish, which shuffles a random card from your opponent's hand in the deck. But what does this Gourgeist do? Spirit Scream, you put damage counters on both headed Pokemon until the remaining HP is 10, and Eerie Voice put 2 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon. So it's like a better version of the Behemoth, because Eerie Voice is not affected by Mew or Machoke or bench barrier effects such as that. But Spirit Scream is also great for just using Spirit Scream. If you don't get knocked out, you can go Eerie Voice, take a knockout on the active, and just 2 hits, or go on the Behemoth if your Gourgeist does get knocked out. So that is definitely nice. Trappish Garbodor, Trash Lance, Azelf. What does this Azelf do? Shining Eyes with 2 damage. Put 2 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon. That's 8 damage counters on it. So once again, just going with the spread mechanic of the deck. And then Mind Bend 30 and Confusion. Blacephalon, Fireworks Bomb, once again, spread. Breakthrough, I believe this is like typical Coca Flying Flip. Yep, 30, 20. Oh, actually, no, it's not. It's like Buzzvol GX's first attack. I think it's like a Rocket Punch or something like that. I don't know. I didn't play it back then. Anyway, Breakthrough. For 1 DC / counter energy / swing energy, we do 30 damage and then 30 damage for one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So more spread. We play Let Loose Marshadow, which is great. We play Mew with Bench Barrier, which is great. Any type that has a Bench Barrier effect is going to be nice because spread decks are really, really good. We have one copy of Mimikyu to block the healing, which is something that I do play in my version as well, just being able to like prevent Cheryl, because some decks do play Cheryl. At least some control lists play Cheryl. So Mimikyu being able to prevent the Cheryl is really, really great. And then Nihilego can copy some attacks for just 1 energy. Supporters, once again, standard supporters: Bruno, Colress, Copycat, Cynthia and Kaylin, Air Hospitality, Guzma, Tate and Liza, Marnie, and Juniper teammates, and Ace Trainer. So we do see the standard supporters, nothing really too out of the ordinary here. No Morty, which is exclusive to Psychic, but Psychic gets a lot of different search outs. We have 1 Great Ball, 1 Fuck Crystal, 1 Mysterious Treasure. These are the 2 like exclusive Psychics search outs, which are always going to be nice if you have a type that has more search outs, more item search outs to be more consistent. 1 Pokemon Communication, 1 Quick Ball, 1 Ultra Ball. So really, really consistent item cards, and 1 Incense as well. And we do see the 1 Spell Tag and 1 Dimension Valley. Dimension Valley is really, really good. Just being able to, you can use like, I don't know, for example, Splattering Spludge for just 1 energy, Fireworks Bomb for just 1 energy, Breakthrough for just 1 energy. Even Shadow Punch for just 1 energy if you want to. So Dimension Valley is really, really good. And then we have 5 Psychic Energy, 1 Counter Energy, 1 DC, 1 Hard Psychic Energy, 1 Mystery Energy, which decreases the retreat cost of the Psychic Pokemon attached to by 2, and then 1 copy of Twin Energy. So that is going to be the Psychic spread deck. Definitely a very, very powerful deck, I think. Next we have Jarrow Winter with Water. So another Water deck. Water is very, very good in the format. As you can see, a lot of Water decks making top 16. You have the Swampert, which is like Better Nishino. Discard a card from your hand, draw 3, except it's a stage 2. You have the Artillery, played in every single Water deck. Frostmoth and Blastoise. Starmie and Inteleon, Vulpix. We do see the Cryogonal, which is not played in any Water deck I've seen so far, and the Phenom with Orbital Section, which is pretty decent as well. What does this Lapras do? It is not the Lapras that we have seen in the Water deck so far. There's a different one. Hydro Pump basically just has a bigger base damage, I think. That's what that is. An Aquabolt being able to do 20 damage, and then 20 damage when your opponent's bench Pokemon can be nice for cleanup KOs. We do see the Anessa in this version of the Water deck. And then we see 1 N, 1 Balgai, 1 Bridget, 1 Cynthia, 1 Colress, 1 Brock's Grit. So once again, countering control. But Brock's Grit versus Seeker is really good against control. 1 Professor's Research, 1 Sonya, 1 Marnie, and 1 Professor's Research. In terms of item start shouts, standard stuff. Once again, Nest Ball, Dive Ball played in every single Water GLC deck. 1 Level Ball, 1 Quick Ball, 1 Timer Ball, 1 Ultra Ball, 1 Evolution Incense. So, all the rest of the stuff from here played in every single Water deck. Soda Super Rod, so I'm not going to go over that too much. Next, we have Control. Again, this one plays a lot of different energy. 13 energy. That is different. Actually, might not be Control. This might be just a regular attacking colorless deck. So we see the Aerodactyl, which does 90 damage, and what does it do? Let's see. 90 damage, and if you don't have any Pokemon GX or EX in your bench, it does 180. So this always does 180 because GX and EX Pokemon are not allowed in the format, which means Fossil Fangs is always doing 180 damage, which is really great. And then we have Supersonic. Your opponent's out of Pokemon is now confused. So that one is definitely a solid option. Does evolve from unidentified fossil though, so you do have to keep that in mind. A good attacker, but it evolves from a fossil card, which are not always ideal. We see the Cinccino and Pidgeotto in this one. This one playing the Minccino that's called for family. Actually, I think that is the optimal one. I don't know why other people are not playing the Minccino call for family. Then we have Porygon Z with Crazy Code, and that explains all the special energy in the deck. Yeah, this looks like just an attacking colorless deck. Definitely really, really interesting. What did these? I don't even know. We played one coding medal. Don't know why we play that. Maybe just so we can. Maybe they just needed that one extra um, energy, special energy to accelerate, so they added that. Kangaskhan, Lugia, Snorlax, Tornadus, and Aerodactyl is some nice attackers. So this one's actually really interesting. I really like this deck. Moving on to Younger Guy GG, we have Psychic once again. This is more of your standard Psychic. We have the Malamar, we have the Gardevoir, which both accelerate energy. We have the Blacephalon, Giratina as main attackers. Hoopa, which I believe does 20 damage to like 3 different things, I think. No, it does 20 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. So it does 20 damage to 2 different things. And then Portal Strike 130, can't use it. So some decent damage with 3 energy and can soften up some things for just an energy and is a basic. Really nice. So Giratina, Hoopa, Blacephalon as attackers. We have the Wobbuffet with Barricade, which is nice against non-psychic decks, shutting down things like Mewtwo or Pidgey. Odo against the control decks. Just to mention, one type unknown with mysterious or farewell letter, I think. Lets you just discard off your bench, draw a card, so more consistency. And since you probably play Fog Crystal, Mysterious Treasure. Basically just turns Mysterious Treasure and Fog Crystal into a draw 1, not to mention your Marshadow, which also turns Mysterious Treasure, Fog Crystal, Level Ball, Quick Ball in to a Shuffle draw 4 for both players. You can copy the attacks of the basic Pokemon you have on your bench and can encounter a search deck for search deck for basic Pokemon put on your bench. So not only is it consistency with like a Call for Family style attack, but can also copy the attack of the Blacephalon and Giratina without having to use something like your Rescue Stretcher, Super Rod to get them back. Mr. Mime, going for the Mr. Mime over the Mew in the bench barrier effect. I actually like the Mew better because the Mew does have a more utility attack, being able to place 3 damage counters. I don't know what this Oricorio does, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. See, we have Vital Dance. When you play this Pokemon from your hand on your mission your turn, search your deck for 2 energy cards field and put in your hand. Okay, so this can be used with like Malamar, and then you can just get them to discard. So a way to get, sorry for the crash that just happened outside. This lets you just search your deck for energy to discard and re-accelerate later with Malamar, so that's kind of nice. And just thinning your deck of any extra energy you might not need if you're really digging for that 1 card per game. And then supported, we have the really ordinary stuff. Once again, Ball Guy, and Marnie, Berkeeper, Cynthia, Teammates, Guzman, Colress, Boss Orders, Resurrection. Then we actually have one, one Rosa, which I think this is the first time you're seeing Rosa in the deck. But Rosa is great. It lets you search your deck for energy. It lets you get back lets you get out a search out from your deck, or maybe an Evo Soda, something like that. If you're up against like the Archeops deck, and can also search your deck for a Pokemon, so it can be a really nice way to immediately just get out your Gardevoir. So definitely do like the Rosa. And then search out's pretty much the same. Level Ball, Mysterious Treasure, Timer Ball, Nest Ball, Ultra Ball, Communication, Great Ball, Quick Ball, Fog Crystal. So once again, standard stuff. Actually playing Dimension Valley, but also the Old Cemetery as well. Let's see, we have Pumpkin 598 here. Let's see what Pumpkin is playing here. Psychic. Alright, this one's actually playing the Dragon Ball and the Golurk. I don't know what this Golurk does. I think this is just one of those really bland rares from Shilling Rain. Yep. So Megaton Fall actually can do a lot of damage for 4 energy. And so you have Psychic Recharge. I think there's Psychic Recharge in here. Yeah. So we have Malamar Psychic Recharge. We can easily do a decent amount of damage. And the Reinforced Punch, I think 60 damage, and if it has a tool, it does 150. That is some pretty good damage from stage 1 for just 3 energy. And if we probably play DCE. We play DCE, Counter Energy, and 2 energy. So this Golurk can do 150 damage for 2 energy, which isn't bad. And for just 3 energy, it can do 190. So definitely really decent, actually. This Golurk is actually really decent in this format. Not the same really bland rare that it is in standard right now. We have Garbodor again, and Blacephalon, Giratina, some really good attackers. We are playing the Mew for the bench barrier effect. The Crozma, which can do a decent amount of damage if it has special energy on it. Wobbuffet by Barricade, getting rid of abilities. So, I'm not going to go over the rest because we've seen this in almost literally every single deck. I think a couple things that are different here. We play Alter the Moon to decrease our retreat, Tool Jammer to get rid of our opponent's tool cards, and Buff Padding to give what Pokemon will we be able to use Buff Padding with. I don't know who we will be able to use Buff Padding with. Maybe we're just playing it against something that plays Gallermine. I don't know why we're playing debuff padding. That is weird. I don't know why we're playing buff padding. Anyway, moving on. We have Xerneas1235, 2, aka Get Wrecked. And I believe Xerneas is playing water. Yes, so Xerneas playing water. So they're actually playing the Kyogre water deck. This is another variant of water where we just try to power up this the Amazing Rare Kyogre and use Amazing Surge to take multiple prize cards at a time. I had been testing up against Little Dark Fury, who did play in the event. Didn't make top 16 though. I think I already mentioned that. And he was playing Kyogre. I was testing up against him, and Amazing Surge just wiped my board in 2 turns. He Guzmed up a Wailmer that I had, and Amazing Surged, and I was on a clock. If I couldn't respond, if I couldn't move my Wailmer, I lost, and I couldn't move my Wailmer because it has a tree cost of 3. So Kyogre is really, really good. Just being able to put your opponent on a clock, you have to KO this Kyogre right now, or else I'm just going to wipe your board and win the game. So Kyogre is insane if you can get it set up. But how do we accelerate all those different types of energy, you ask? We have this Milotic here, which has the ability Energy Grace. You can knock it out, and if you do, you attach 3 basic energy cards from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon, excluding Pokemon EX. Well, Pokemon EX are banned, so this basically just says knock it out, attach 3 basic energy cards from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. We have 1 metal and 1 lightning, and then 10 water. So we actually don't have that many outs for attacking with our Kyogres. Maybe just a little less heavy on the Kyogre strategy kind of deal, but Milotic nonetheless is still great for playing a Professor's Research or playing a we don't actually play Capacious Pocket Channel, playing like a Professor's Letter, getting some energy out of the deck, and Professor's researching it away, or like Battle Compressor, waste some energy, Ultra Ball, waste some energy, just power up your Wailord. And that is not to mention Frostmoth to get more energy in play as well. Tropical Beach, awesome, nice flex. Not only is Tropical Beach a flex, it is also a really good card. You do have to be careful when you play your Tropical Beach though, because it means your opponent can use it. So you don't just play the Tropical Beach after you mourned your opponent, because that is usually not a good idea. If they bricked off the Marnie, that kind of gets rid of the entire point of the Marnie. If they brick off it, then they'll be able to unbrick themselves because you had their Tropical Beach. They can use the Tropical Beach. So Tropical Beach is good, but you have to be careful when you use it. Second to last one, we have Keenan V here playing Lightning. And this one also is Strike Up. We play the Raid Luxray instead of the Rapid Strike one. Once again, 1/1 Electrike and Electros that can just use Electric Swamp, get a whole bunch of energy attached to itself. Electrode, Magnet draw more cards. Same Raikou, same Koko, same Zapdos, and the Zekrom, which I believe just for 3 energy can do it 120, and then also has an Rage attack. Other stuff pretty standard. So we're gonna move on to the last list of the video, which is Captain Wonder. And Captain is playing Psychic. No, he's not playing Psychic. He's playing Fighting. I saw the Baltoy. I was like, oh, Psychic. No, he's playing Fighting. So there's one Fighting deck in the top 16. I was wrong. It's in the 16th place. And we have the Fighting deck with Claydol, which does 200 damage but knocks itself out. And I believe you can bypass that with something like, the bodybuilding dumbbells, which we do play. Wish Cash for 2 energy can do 140. Drillbur, which can evolve an Excadrill, and for 1 energy can do 120 or 180. Jonathan, which for 1 energy can do 120 and 20 each to your bench, and then Buzzwole, which for 1 energy can do I believe 140 damage if you have exactly 4 prize cards left. So basically just like a pretty cheap energy attack cost deck. I believe we even play Karate Belt. Looks like we don't play Karate Belt, so Karate Belt is definitely something that I would like to see in this deck, just because we have the couple 2 energy attacks, so we can lead by hitting our opponent with our 1 energy attacks, and then eventually we can follow up with our 2 energy attacks and a Karate Belt and a Dojo. So I would like to see the Karate Belt, but Captain Wonder made 16th place with the deck without Karate Belt, so maybe it is not needed. I haven't played the deck myself. We have Lysander's Jump card and probably versus Secret up to beat the Control, and then we have Max Potion, which can heal our Pokemon that only attack for 1 energy. That's gonna be it for the video. Hope you guys liked it. Just a little bit of an overview. My voice is going dry here. Starting to hurt the talk. Sorry for that door slam. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys liked it, don't forget to leave a like. I'm actually going to be doing more of these Gym Leader Showdown, these Gym Leader Challenge Showdown tournaments. So if you would like to play one of them, don't worry, I'll be doing another one soon. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys liked it, don't forget to leave a like. If you guys want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. I don't do videos like this too often, but I do real life videos and PDCGO videos. Try to post every other day. I've started school again, so I haven't been posting every other day. I was supposed to post a video yesterday, but it's no big deal because I ended up doing this. Yeah, hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.